So I started studying with Kausthub in 2013. At first, I signed up for an online group course that was called Garbini, and it's about pregnancy. So I was interested in in the topic of pregnancy and yoga and how to help women in group classes creating practices suited to pregnancy. And then I continued with one-on-one classes starting towards the end of 2013. And so at that point I wanted to pursue some personal objective that I had in my life that I thought yoga could help with, and I was interested to see whether Kausthub could help me through like an customized practice and study. Definitely, I have reached the objectives that I had initially when I started the one-on-ones with Kausthub in terms of improving the health concerns that I came with in the first place and reaching the personal objectives that I wanted to reach. And so already that is big because I had no idea when I started the one-on-ones whether it could actually really make a difference in the areas that I was interested in. But it did actually. After 9-10 months of daily practice and following what Kausthub recommended for me, I actually saw big changes in the areas I was interested to change. So that was huge. Because honestly, I was open when I started, but I didn't know whether it would work or not. So it did. But then I also gained more, and that wasn't expected. So it was kind of like the cherry on the cake, I would say, is I think I really gained a friend, like a really interesting and fun and true relationship with a teacher who is, more than a teacher, it's kind of like a friend. And so that's really great. Studying one-on-one with a teacher in the yoga tradition, I had learned to start with. I had learned in my teacher training that this is the main modality. Yoga should be taught one-on-one as much as possible. So I knew that intellectually. Now I've experienced it myself since I started studying with Kausthub in 2013, and yes, I mean it makes obvious sense right now based on my experience that it's only when you go through one-on-one study with what I would call a master or like a very skillful teacher at least, that you can really experience and reap the rewards of what yoga can offer. Because the practice is so customized. It's difficult to express otherwise. It's what you're getting, or in my experience, what I've been getting has been so customized and has so obviously addressed and met the challenges that I wanted to work with, that obviously this is why I have been able to reach the results that I have reached. And I don't think that, well, I know for a fact that, for example, group classes or group courses, I mean, can be great and can bring a lot of other things, but will not reach that level of, one-on-one attention and, individualized results, really. Yes, I do feel safe doing that, and I think that you feel safe when you have trust, basically, in the relationship and in the person that you're working with. So I think this has been built over time. You know, at the beginning it felt a little bit more challenging maybe to reveal or talk about very personal issues. And I think over time, as the relationship built and the trust has strengthened, it's, you know, it's easier. But yeah, I feel safe, and I do also in that respect think that you know, it's very much also my job, and I feel very comfortable establishing my own boundaries. So if I don't feel comfortable, I feel safe in saying that maybe this is not comfortable and maybe I don't want to talk about this today. I think that's totally okay, and that's something that Kausthub can hear. So that helps too. At this point, because I'm starting my yoga therapy course, what I can say is um, the only thing I'm really able to perceive right now is that in our one-on-one classes, um, yeah, he just demonstrates the depth of his expertise and his ability as a yoga therapist that I don't know yet at all. You know, how to reach that level of embodiment really as a yoga therapist. Um, so I'm just starting to, yeah, to learn now about all that it takes to really be able to approach someone in a therapy one-on-one context and be skillful. I think what many people might not imagine when thinking of the concept of yoga therapy, at least it was my case, is that in a yoga therapy session, one-on-one, you know, the therapist is going to ask many questions and talk and cover many dimensions that are not just physical. And that might be surprising, or it was for me when, you know, we started therapy classes and Kausthub was asking about how are my relationships, for example, or how is my work, and you know, other questions. And I might be like, well, isn't it weird to talk about this, you know, and the tendency to just go like, well, please just, can you solve my back problem, you know, like, and of course what I've learned over time is everything is connected. And so even if you come with like a back problem, like a skillful yoga therapist is going to investigate other dimensions than just the body, the physiological dimension. And so of course that's something that comes out very strongly in the one-on-one work that we do, is we cover every dimension of our of our being, right? And so definitely it just shows how yoga is a holistic system rather than just a physical approach. Yeah. So we study online mostly. So we have roughly monthly one-on-one classes, and then I may join some other group classes that he organizes online. So I would say the main modality really is online and through Skype. And it works. I'm really used to that. I know a lot of people find it maybe not so comfortable. I have to say I'm used to it also in my own work, working with people on personal development topics and things online, and I know it works. So yeah, that's how we do. Well, what's unique about him, the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, his lineage, and that, you know, he just happens to be from that lineage of great yogis, and that's just unique. And the other thing I would say is, well, just like anybody, really, he is unique. And so what I appreciate about his unique style is, I would say, his friendliness, as well as obviously the level of depth of his knowledge in the yoga field. I don't think I mean, I have not met yet any other teacher who is that close to the lineage and who is that well versed in its teachings, really. Okay, what I like most about Kausthub as a teacher is two things. Is first, I would say the brilliance, like the expertise, the knowledge that's so deep and vast, and everything that he shares about yoga. And then it's the way in which he does it that is very skillful, very clear, very articulate, and also very easy to understand. So his style of teaching, I find, is very good. Yeah, I know there's been controversies, about Kausthub. I knew that when I first started to study with him, and so yes, it's a topic. It was a topic for me upon considering to start classes with him, and so what I can say is my own story. So my story is I. I asked my teacher, who's my Belgian teacher, whether he could be trusted. And my teacher said that according to him, he could be trusted. And because I trust my Belgian teacher, I signed up for a course with Kausthub. And the other thing that I did is I will tell you about my first conversation with Kausthub on Skype when we had our first class. I really remember. I said, I'm here to work on very personal issues. Sensitive issues, things that are very private, and so I hope that I can trust you. And so I laid it kind of out there, and I remember his response. I remember he said he thanked me for my trust in initiating courses with him, one-on-one classes with him, and thanked me and said that he would do his best to always, serve me in the best possible way. Or, I mean, I'm not sure what words he used, but I remember feeling reassured by him. And then my approach was really, and it's only my story, of course, but my experience has been that I was never disappointed in the trust that I have put in him, and I have never had any issues. And so our studying relationship is great. And so I have nothing to complain about. Which is, again, it's my perspective, my experience, and I can only talk about my experience. And as I said before, I also trust that if there's anything that I'm not comfortable with, I'm safe to just express it. And I think it's also, it's also my responsibility to establish my boundaries if I ever need to. But again, I mean, I don't have any fear or any worry in that respect. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, of course, I would recommend. I think I would recommend others to study with Kausthub if they were interested, deeply interested in yoga. We're looking for an authentic lineage, an authentic teaching, a very high quality teaching. I would definitely encourage someone like that to explore the opportunities of studying further with Kausthub for sure. And then again, at least, or I mean, at the end, I think it's everyone's choice, and you can't, and when you I think when you meet Kausthub or when you know check out the various offerings and whatever, everybody would know for themselves whether they are attracted to this or not. And I think it's usually very clear. And I would encourage people who feel like an interest or you know feel drawn to this tradition and this lineage definitely to explore the options. Okay, I would say friendly. I would say knowledgeable, or you know, yeah, knowledgeable and committed.